Okay, we got to talk a little NASCAR because when people are listening, they're like, that's the 1989 NASCAR champion, Rusty Wallace. So here we are today. We just got done racing at Chicago, and everybody's up in arms. And the big talk right now, and Angie, I know you're on Sirius XM, and I know you're very knowledgeable. Brother, I know you listen. Let's start with the Rusty and then Angie. Do you think that we're in a time now where NASCAR is going to run street courses every 3 years? So we just got done at Chicago, third year. Now rumor has it that we're going to maybe go to San Diego or Philly. Rusty, you go first. What are your thoughts about this new NASCAR picking up with walls and fences and going downtown street course racing?
Well, these cities want to do it. They got the deep pockets to spend the money to want to do it. I was actually talking to Kevin, who runs Champion Tire, yesterday. These guys, these Champion Tire guys, they have like 80 haulers. They're taking all the pit boxes. They're taking all the tires. They're taking all the wheels and taking everything. And he came back yesterday and he's completely tuckered out and wore out. And I go, what's going on? He said, man, we were 67 hours coming home from Mexico City. And then now we just finished Chicago. And now we're going, the big rumor is now we're going back to we're going to go to San Diego now. And I said, what do you think of that? And he goes, man, I don't know. He said, but my guys were flat wore out. But so it's a lot of logistics. We get that. But these cities want to do it. And NASCAR wants to keep changing this stuff up. Ben Kennedy, this young whippersnapper up in NASCAR right now, part of the France family, he's pretty smart. And he wants to keep moving the sport in the right direction and keep changing things instead of staying stagnant in one area. So I don't think we've seen the end of this. I mean, talking about going out to the Coliseum in California, I went, what in the world? Well, they did that and they ran its course. Okay. I remember back in the day, we went to Japan. Mike Skinner won the last race out there.
The last two. Okay.
I love it.
He won the last two. I won the very.
He won the first.
I won the very first one. I'll never forget. I'm on the stage and they come up to me with a paper bag with $122,000 in Japanese yen and paid me in cash in a bag.
They did?
Yeah, in paper bag.
In Japan?
$22,000 yen. And I gave it to Don Miller when we came home. I don't know how the hell we got home, but we did that. But we've done all these first off deals. But now it seems like it's ramping up. I don't see much into this. And to take this thing over to Bowman Gray like they did last year and did that event, and it was a pretty damn good race. It wasn't
they're going back next year.
It wasn't what I call a show. It worked pretty good.
Well, Ryan Blaney came from last to challenge for the wins, so it's possible to pass.
Yeah. So that I don't see us stopping. We have our traditional tracks. We got the Daytona 500. We have Talladega. We have Charlotte. We got Atlanta. But hey, we lost to Michigan, and hey, we lost to Pocono, and hey, we lost this, and hey, we lost that, which were traditional 2-time racetracks per year.
Yeah.
I don't think, and then we're getting new stuff like my all-time favorite, Iowa Speedway. You know how much I love that place.
Yeah.
We go out there last year for the first time, and it's a complete hit. And now we'll be going again. And I asked a question. So how much longer do you think we'll be able to stay going to Iowa Speedway? And the question was, well, he said, well, Iowa replaced California. And they told me, said, we don't have any plans for California right now.
Yeah, that's been the big crazy. It's like, what in the hell are they doing out there with that place?
Yeah.
Angie, you got your ear to the callers. You're on Sirius XM. I'm starting to see a little rumble from Brad Keselowski. Brad's the new Rusty Wallace. Brother would give his opinion. Brad says, look, we're starting to run too many road courses. What are you hearing?
Well, so it's funny because that was the topic on our show this week, is if they should continue street course racing or not. And then people want to talk about road course racing. Here's my take on it. Okay. For years and years and years, all I ever heard from people that like Formula One and IndyCar and Trans Am and road course racing is the NASCAR guys, they can't turn right. I'm like, shut up, you morons. They can turn whichever damn way they want to. So I love road course racing because in my opinion, it proves to all the naysayers that the NASCAR boys can do whatever the hell they want. Okay. They can go right. They can go left. They can race on streets. They can go international. They can do short tracks. They can do super speedways. They can do intermediates. They can do dirt. We did dirt for a while too. So in my opinion, I love the fact that we do it. I don't think we have too much of it going on. I think the fans really like it. I am entertained by it. Are you? I love it.
I'm a racer. I grew up in an era where you just rolled with it and you're like, oh, where are we going? We're going to Japan. Okay, let's go to Japan. So, I just grew up with Rusty and my dad and Mike, and I'm sure you were the same way. I'm not used to this era where we judge everything. Now, I came from an era where NASCAR said, this is what we're doing. And we went, oh, okay. Nowadays, everybody judges every little thing. Okay, I want to stay on NASCAR, but I want to ask you this, brother. This Carson Hocevar has a ton of talent, but he wrecks a lot of people. They calmed Ross Chastain down, and he's still able to win. Do you think that this Carson Hocevar, they dropped the green flag at Chicago and he wrecked right away. What's your thought on Carson Hocevar, Rusty?
He's got speed. He's fast. He's real fast. And it's hard to get a guy that's not fast. And so he's got the normal speed. Now you just got to call. He's a bull in a china cabinet right now.
Yeah, right.
And they just got to calm him down a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know what? You'll get that. You'll learn that. You'll learn how far you can take your car, what you can't do. But if you got a guy that's just slow and you're trying to make him fast, that's hard to do. But if you got a guy that's just fast, you can rein him back and you can tune on him. That can happen, So that'll go on for a while with him. Then he'll smooth out. I think he's a star. I really do. I think he's going to be super fast because week after week he's up there in the top, qualifying and stuff, and he's getting it done. And we talked about, you just mentioned Chicago. He went in a corner, right in the wall.
Right away.
I listened to his interview.
He just did.
I listened to his interview. He said, I sailed that damn thing in there, and the damn thing bottomed out. As soon as it bottomed out, I slid right off the ground into the wall. I can see that happening. I can see getting in a wall, getting in there too deep, and you get on the bump stops, and you bottom out or whatever, and you can't even turn the car. And it was obvious he couldn't turn the car at all. I watched the whole damn race, and he sailed it in there and turned it and went straight right in that fence. But I guess you would say a good driver would saw that coming. Driver had more experience, and that wouldn't let that happen. But to answer your question, though, Kenny, I think he's around for a long time. I really do.
So for me, I got it. I want to like Carson Hocevar because, like Rusty said, it's hard to make somebody, go fast, right? It's easier to slow them down than when you're trying to push somebody like, go, get on the wheel, drive. And I want to like him so bad, but he pissed me off so bad.
What did he do to you? Did he disrespect you?
Gosh. So here I am. I'm full of love. I love everybody. I always try to come up with something that I like about everybody. Well,
you're my sister.
Yes, that's right. They had that. He bought that 3 truck, right? And they were calling it the Dale truck. And I'm like,
oh,
y'all, Dale Earnhardt. My husband is the first Camping World or Craftsman, Truck Series champion, and he drove the 3 truck, and it was owned by Richard Childress. It wasn't even owned by Dale Earnhardt. So quit calling it the damn Dale truck, Yeah. And so we kind of had some fun with it, and I was just wanting to kind of cut up and be fun with Carson to bring out his personality a little bit, so fans, could get to know him a little bit more. So I say, book him on our show, So we book him on the show. And apparently some of the guys in his shop actually put Mike Skinner over Dale's name on the truck. And it just to be funny, and we retweeted it and I didn't get nothing out of it. I'm like, damn, maybe Carson's not as funny as I thought. Like, he's kind of quirky, kind of funny. We had him on our show. Dude, he was all but rude to me. Like, people were like saying, he basically said, well, it's cooler to say Dale truck than Mike Skinner. I was like, son of a, that's my husband. That's my husband you're talking about.
Well,
So no, we were just laughing about it. And then I tried to even kind of be funny with him. And he just didn't, I don't think he got my humor or my wit. I don't know. And I just felt like he was a little kind of like rude about it, like disrespectful and rude. And so I kind of like, so now when he does go into the wall, I kind of go, good. I don't want you to get hurt, but I'm not happy with you.
No, I love this raw realness because, he can be the way he wants to be.
Yeah.
Brother, you call it tough love. You gave me a lot of tough love. You taught me a lot. And I've had my ass chewed out plenty of times. And boy, when I got my butt chewed out by you, I can remember Dale Sr. getting mad at me because I took him 3 wide in practice at Daytona. I can remember Terry Labonte chewing my ass out after a race at Phoenix because I raced him back to the caution. Do we not have anybody for Carson Hocevar? Do we know, is there a driver out there, either one of you, who is the driver that goes to Carson and goes, hey, because you all scared the hell out of me in my day. You said something, I listened, and I changed. Is that day gone?
No, I don't think it's gone. I remember the day that Kevin Harvick, back in the day when he was a young guy coming up, really showed his ass and got in all kind of trouble. And I went to him and I said, let me tell you something, buddy. I was at the peak of my game right then, and he was coming on. And I told him, I said, look, Mr. France will tell you one thing. This sport does not need you. They don't need you at all. They can race without you. And I sat him down. I told him the truth. And I was with Chris Williams, who used to run Action Performance, all the merchandise business, and he used to haul Dale in and out of the racetrack. And he told me, he said, man, you told that to Harvick. And he knew Harvick real good, too. He used to help Kevin. And he said, boy, I can't thank you enough for saying that to Kevin, because I think it helped him a little bit. But he came in all hot and cocky and wild and mad and mean and all that type of stuff. And I said, you got to remember one thing. This sport is not dependent on you. We don't need you. You got to remember the sport. Mr. France used to have a board in his truck, and it said, I don't give a shit what you think.
Yes.
And that was
I didn't know that.
You'd walk in the big red truck and it said right there, I don't care what you think. And the sport does not need you.
But you just said something. So this topic just came up this week. So I want to ask you guys about this. Because apparently now, whenever you got in trouble, Kenny, you got in trouble, or you were mad and you wanted to go try to get your way with Mike Houghton or Mr. France, which usually didn't really ever go your way. But when you would do it, you would go to the big red truck. What I heard today or this week is that there isn't a big red truck anymore. There is one, but where do you go? Yeah. You can't go find Mike Houghton anymore. Like, who's the Mike Houghton? Because Mike Houghton would have been the guy. I mean, he scared me. If I had open-toed shoes on, he'd look at me and go, nice shoes, Miss Skinner. I'd be like, I'll be right back, sir. Sorry, dude. I don't want to piss you off, And I remember Mike, one time went in there mad about they were changing the restrictors or something, and he was hauling butt at Talladega, and he came back in. I go, how'd that go? And he goes, well, I know what Mike Houghton had for breakfast today. I can tell you that, and it didn't go well. So, yeah. But where do they go? Who do you call?
You bring up a good point. I like to be a leader. I rule my family, and maybe that's what we are missing is that figure that scares the hell out of you. I mean,
there's none of that out there right now as far as drivers. Okay. Yeah. I don't see anybody that's got enough horsepower. That's a current driver that can make a dent in anything right now, because you're not spending any time at the racetrack like you used to. You used to get there on a Friday. You'd be there all day Friday. You get there Thursday night, you go to dinner with everybody. You'd be there Friday. You'd practice. You qualified. You had all kind of conversation going on. Then you had all kind of conversation going on Saturday, Then you had to race on Sunday. You were there for 4 days. Now these guys just blow in and blow out. Blow in and blow out. Hardly no practice. No, there's really no time to have these conversations. And I don't think some of these guys even know how to do it. I think the closest one that was pretty good at it after I retired and Dale lost his life, I think Jeff Burton did a pretty good job at trying to do that. You want to do that. You want to be involved, and you still want to keep giving back, but then that goes away. So,
but do you think that they would respect you guys? So like if NASCAR said, hey, how about, they're doing the NASCAR alumni now. They're trying to bring some of the old regime back, because you guys are favored. I mean, I hear it on Sirius XM all the time. And just when I'm hanging out here up in the mountains with friends that love NASCAR still to this day, they'll say, oh my God, the good old days, Rusty, Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt, Kenny Wallace, Mike Skinner, and you guys were badass. You guys were so cool.
Yeah, but Angie, even all that. I mean, if I got an issue, I'm just going to go to the top. I'm going to pick the phone up and I'm going to call Jim France and say, Jim, I this is bugging me. Yeah. Okay. He'll say, okay, you know what? I want you to talk to Steve Phelps. I want you to talk to Steve. So I'll talk to Steve. And if he doesn't want to talk to Steve, I'll talk to somebody else. But I'm not going to go through a committee decision and all this crap and through media. I'm not doing none of that, man. I'm picking a phone up. I'm calling the dude, and he's going to tell me where to go, and we're going to have a conversation. And they're great people. I mean, Mr. Jim Francis, the greatest guy on the planet. Mike Helton, in my opinion, is the greatest guy on the planet. Mike Helton, you can call that guy anytime, and he will give you everything you want to hear. So if I hear people saying, I got a problem and nobody gives me answers, that's bull. Yeah. I mean, you call Jim Francis, you call Mike Helton, they will guide you to the people that you need to be talking to, and you can vent yourself all you want, and it's going to be fine. But if you're going to start venting first to media, I'm going to tell you what, you need to have a bullet in the head.
You just said something very interesting. Everybody now gets on this and bitches and complains instead of doing what Rusty said, picking up the phone and having the balls to say, I don't like this rule. I don't like this. I don't like this driver. I don't like what happened. And that's what I'm wondering is, how do we teach today's drivers to be confident enough to do that? Can we?
I got to tell you this real quick, and then we'll get back to the Rusty Wallace ride. I had got underneath John Andretti at Phoenix going down the back straightaway, and my right front got into John Andretti's left rear, and it was smoking. Well, they started black flagging me, and I'm like, I'm not coming in.
No.
So finally I do, and they said, NASCAR wants to see you at the big red trailer. And my dumbass said, you tell NASCAR you never saw me. So I get to the FBO, and I walk in there, and that my timing could not have been any worse. And you had Big Bill, or there's Bill France smoking that cigarette. He looked at me and he said, you're in trouble. And it destroyed my life. And then, those were the days that I remember. Rusty, you make a good point. There's channels now. Back in our day, it was the guy there at the racetrack. So I think you
want to hear a real funny story?
I do.
The scariest thing I've ever had happen to me in my entire life. Okay.
Yep.
I'm driving the 27 car.
Yep.
And just killing it, just having a hell of a year in that 27 car, the Kodiak car, the car I won my championship in.
Yeah.
I'm down at Daytona, and I'm in the Busch race. Yeah, it was the Busch race.
Oh, yeah.
It was the Busch race on a Saturday. Last lap, I'm leading the race. Dale Jarrett gets alongside me. We go in the corner, and I get real tight to him. He gets loose. He gets up in the gray. He spins. I go on, and I'm thinking I'm going to win the race. And underneath him, I hear Darrell Waltrip. Here comes Darrell Waltrip on the very bottom. He wins. I finish second. So from the cameras, it looked like I wrecked Dale Jarrett on purpose, and I didn't. Okay. So Rusty Wallace to the garage at Daytona. They had a building, not a big red truck. He brought me in there. He said, son, this is Bill France. He said, I'm kicking you out for life, and your day is over. Your racing history is done. You need to load your chicken ass up and go back to St. Louis. Freaked me completely out. I got my family. I got everybody, and just kicked me completely out of NASCAR. He said, we're going to go up top, and I'm going to grab the CBS camera replays, and we're going to replay this race. And if I see what I think I saw, you're kicked out of NASCAR for life. I go up in there. They run these tapes, and it's me and Raymond Beadle and Barry Dotson and Harold Elliott, my chief engine builder. We're up in there, and here it shows both of us go side by side. It shows Dale goes sideways. It goes click, 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 click on the video screen. Click, 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 click. It never shows me touch him. Races, and it's all done. And Bill's got a three-piece suit on. It's brand new Porsche gold career sunglasses, smoking a cigarette like crazy. He said, well, I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing here. And he looks at me and he goes, what do you got to say for yourself? I said, I think you owe me an apology.
You did not. You said that to Bill France?
I did. I said, you know what he told me? He said, "Get the out of here."
Hey, and during that time you were up there, Dale Earnhardt Sr. came to me and he said, "I think you're going to have to drive your brother's Cup car." And I panicked. I said, "I don't have enough experience." You had me in. That was my very first year in your Busch Grand National car.
And I'll tell you one, King, that day made me have so much damn respect for Bill France Jr. It was unreal. That guy had so much common sense. He was such a cool dude, such an awesome person. And the way he was cussing and looking at me and smoking and
real
talking shit, you know?
Yeah.
And when I looked at him, I said, "You owe me damn apology." Oh my God.
Out of here.
He spun out and said, "Get the hell out of here."
This is a whole nother show, but I got stories. Betty Jane France used to call me and scold me for stuff, and I'd have to go to their house and have tea, and she'd tell me how to act and things to do. And oh yeah.
That was back in the day. That's all Kenny, it leads back to your original question. Yeah. You got a problem, go to the top, man. Go to the top, talk to the people. Don't go to media. Don't go through all these weird ass channels. Just go to the guy you got a problem with, the top of NASCAR. They will direct you where to go. You know, just do that. Don't make an ass out of yourself and look stupid. And
well, let me ask you a question about that. I know you better than anybody except Patty. You have never, I know that story, but you have never told that story. Were you too shy to tell that story? That's the first time I've heard you say
it a couple times. I've told it a couple times, but you know, I get really irritated when I hear all these opinions and what people like and don't like about NASCAR. I love NASCAR.
Me too.
NASCAR's made me a shitload of money. They're great people. They're common sense people, but people don't know that. They hear all this dumb shit on social media and don't get it, you know? Right. But I know the story. I know the truth. I know the truth. And I've lived it. And I really defend them. I don't like that crap, you know? And I went through all these conversations, and I've always got a long way. I'll never forget when Bill France got really sick. We're in the Bahamas one time on an invited trip, and he told his boat captain, Gary, he said, "Gary, when I'm gone, I want you to make damn sure that they listen to a lot of stuff Rusty's got to say, because I like what he thinks." And it made me really feel good.
Wow.
I was standing on the damn boat dock in the Bahamas. And when that happened, and not too much later, Bill passed away. But he really made me feel good, because I never did lie to him at all, ever.
Well, that was incredible. And one more question. The final race of the year, we're changing it because the fans feel like Penske has a stranglehold on Phoenix. So the fans are like, we got to change the final race of the year because Penske's got a stranglehold. They're going to win all the championships. So they said, okay, we're going to change the last race of the year every year. What do you two think of that?
I personally like it. I like moving it around. I like moving the championship race around. I do like doing that. I think it's unique. You know, I'm totally in favor of that. If somebody said, "Hey, Britt, it's going to be this year, it's going to be here, it's going to be there," have at it. I don't care. Yeah. Just tell me the rules. Tell me what we're doing. That's what we'll handle.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it too, because I think that it's more challenging for the drivers. You know, it's the same thing over and over and over is not going to get us any new fans. And that's why I'm a fan of street course racing and road course racing and all these new things. I think Ben Kennedy is brilliant. I think Ben Kennedy is so smart, because he could have just done the same old and had a lot of money in his pocket and didn't really care. And I think he's being bold. And I think that that's really cool that there's someone in the France family that's willing to kind of take a step sideways and say, we got to keep growing this sport, and we need to get more fans. We need to get younger fans and new fans always coming in the gate. And so I think all these changes are wonderful. I love it.
Yeah. You made me look good, brother, because the fans hate me because I like NASCAR. And we got this new generation that is mad at me because, you know, they say I'm a NASCAR shill. I like NASCAR. And I'm like, you're just dumb. You don't make any sense. And I put them right in their place, and they sit at home and rah, 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 and I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And so I love you for saying exactly the way I feel.
And that's what's so frustrating when this has been your life, your entire life, and you
Yes.
really know what's going on in the sport.
Yeah.
You really
Right.
damn near exactly know what's going on in the sport, and you have people disagree with you and say it's stupid, this and that. Makes you crazy. All this road racing talk right now, the majority of it's happening because SVG is kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah.
The rest
Yeah.
of the drivers do not know how to operate the clutch, the brake, and the gas pedal like he does.
Yeah.
And
He's
listen
good.
to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of finesse and there's a lot of rhythm that goes on the way this guy drives the car, the way he throws it in the corner, the way he accelerates, the way he uses the clutch and doesn't use the clutch. There's a ton of finesse. I was picking up all the words that were going on this past week, and I said, I kind of get what's going on. You know, I used to use that term at Bristol. I was destroying those cats in Bristol for like ever. And I won 9 races there. And I used this part throttle technique I did where I could really sail through the center of the corner. And the people are going, I can't hear your car out of the gas pedal. What's going on? It was all the way you used the gas and the brake. And I won a pile of races. That's what this SVG is doing. He's a great driver, but he's got so damn much finesse inside the car. So instead of talking shit about the street courses, it's all generated because he's beating your ass. And you just got to figure it out, and that's it.
Right. Well, you used to throw the car a little bit into these tracks. You when you drove the Kodiak car, the Pontiac, you would tell me, and you had great heel toe technique, and you would throw it in there, and you started out at Riverside, and you honed your talent. You were really good. You were one of the top road racers. So hearing that from you brings back great memories of me and you going to Watkins Glen testing, and you having that ability to throw the car in comfortably, get it set with those, tires. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. And I noticed that when one driver wins 3 in a row, all of a sudden everybody hates NASCAR. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good to hear you say that.
It's all kind of crazy
But
stuff.
Are those people like our true fans that are out there cheering and having a good time with us, or is it the few trolls that kind of like multiply? You know what I mean? Because there's so many of that going on. Like poor Mike doesn't understand that I don't know everybody on Twitter that follows him. He'll go, "Hey, who's at so and so said this?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. It's Twitter or X, whatever we're supposed to call it. I don't know who that guy is."
I can answer that.
Funny you said that. I get on this. Greg Biffle's been doing all this media stuff. I see he's doing a ton of that. And I was watching him drive that Gary Mitchell thing, and I said, he kept calling that the Dale truck. That's not a damn Dale truck.
Thank you. Oh my God, I love you.
Well, I mean,
somebody finally stood up for me.
But it's a term. It's a term.
It's
and
a term.
Everybody relays to the 3 car as anything as 3 is a Dale something,
Yeah.
And oh my God, we could go on and on about opinions, right?
Yep.
But this goddamn sport we're in right now, the NASCAR is the greatest thing around. It really is.
It really is.
And anybody
really
got
is.
a problem with it, get your head out of the sand, man.
And they keep watching because they want to bitch about it. I'm going to watch this
By the way,
so I can complain.
By the way, the attendance of NASCAR is pretty damn good right now.
Yes.
It's very good. How about the people, Kenny, that call in on Sirius XM NASCAR radio? Now listen, all we talk about is NASCAR 24 hours, 7 days a week. It ain't the motorsports channel. It's the NASCAR channel. They'll call and they'll go, "I'm never watching NASCAR again." I'm like, then why in the hell are you listening to us right now? I don't get it.
They lie.